Hi everyone! So the off-meta pushes for Season 27 have started for me, and one of the first ones I wanted to try was the Firebird wizard with the magic missile. So I went on a leaderboard to check out, what are the current clears, how is it looking. I was expecting to do something like 142, 144 or so, and then I was looking at, this was the previous rank 1 clear before I started the push, and I saw this guy wearing a staff. I was like, what the hell is this? And he was just playing Meteor apparently. And that was really, really interesting. Like, that was a weird epiphany I had, because there is this 5000% damage multiplier on the 6-piece bonus that is a generic damage increase similar to the 8000% from Tarasha or the LOD gem. And well, I had just cleared 150 of Tarasha, so I guess it can't be that bad after all. And I also saw the setup was not even that optimized. There was a Molten Wildebeest, there was no squirts, no COE, some other small things that you could do. And I was going to try it out myself. So I built this so-called Icebird build now, which is Firebird with Cold Meteor. And I started pushing. So here you see one of my first attempts. This is 142. I went all the way up to 146 in the end with a few hours of pushing. I just went tier by tier until I felt comfortable with it. And I think 146 is a pretty good result with this Paragon right now of this build. It is a bit weaker than a Tarasha for sure. So I would say it's somewhere in the range of like 5 tiers weaker or so, because you simply cannot fit in the Orgles like you can do in Tarasha. And Tarasha also has a higher multiplier, but it's somewhere in that range. So a lot of people ask me, why do I not play the Fire Meteor and I play Cold instead? Does this even work? And the answer is yes, it does, because again, this is a 5000% generic damage increase, and you just completely ignore this Ignite mechanic. So you need to use Disintegrate to get a combustion stacks, which gives you the damage reduction from the 4-piece, and gives you a teleport cooldown reduction. So you have instant teleports all the time, which is one of the few advantages that this setup has compared to like Tarasha. But you don't actually trigger those fire ignite procs that Firebirds usually uses to deal damage. So usually you don't care about the skill damage of whatever you're using, like the flame blades or the magic missile. It can be basically 0 as long as it's a fire rune. It will apply this ignite damage. But here the meteor is just the main damage, and we don't care about this ignite. I did some numbers, and it seems like the ignite damage would be somewhere in the range of like 5 to 10% of the total damage done when you use, like, for example, the Fire Meteor. But there are other disadvantages that just make the Cold a better choice, because the difference in damage done is too small to really matter. So this is just another flavor of playing Meteor, just like on LOD or on Tarasha. And outside of the Firebird solo leaderboards, this is not really a build. There might be those cases where at the season start, when next season comes around, and Firebird is the only thing you have, you might want to play this for a little while until you farm up something else. But aside from this, it's like a solo push build. I also only have like the solo push variant here for now. I might add some more stuff eventually, but this is what I have in the planner here. And it's fairly straightforward. So if you know the Meteor builds on Tarasha, you have exactly the same items with Smoldering Core and Grand Vizier, the Nilfor, the Mempo. You throw Cold Meteors, and yeah, it's basically the same stuff. There are definitely some variations you can do here. For example, I was playing this with Galvanizing Ward and Diamond Skin to protect myself, and the Squirt's Necklace. So I was trying to keep up my shields at all times, have the Squirt's Necklace buff, which is a massive damage improvement. At the lower Paragon levels, and if you're like getting hit more often, then your shields can break very easily. So this might not be the best idea, and this Traveler's Pledge setup might be not so bad. In general, it is not really the tankiest build, despite having the 80% damage reduction from the Firebird and the 80% from Karini, but it was overall okay. So 2 times 80% damage reduction, not that much can go wrong. There's also a blur, there's also the safe passage, so you have like some other small effects. You have the Diamond Skin. So overall, the toughness was okay, especially with the Templar healing me in the bigger fights. One advantage is that you are kind of forced to have the Guardian set in this build, because you need to have the Ring of Fairy Grandeur to equip either the Mempo or the boots, and you don't really have anything else to go into those slots. So yeah, there could be a Witching Hour, which doesn't really do that much. There could be an Ashnagar here, which kind of serves the same purpose as the Guardian anyway. So you just get Guardian set, and especially at lower Paragon, you can already feel the power of that set. For me at 3k, yeah, it's just not really doing all that much anymore, and it's just like a small bonus basically. I also tried a Star Pact variant of this Firebird build, but I think this is only going to be somewhat competitive during Season 27 because of the magic missile power. So similar to Tarasha, I used the magic missile of the 10 projectiles to refill my arcane power really quickly from the magic weapon Conduit. And like this, I can throw full power Star Pacts all the time. But I think that it's going to be maybe even or maybe even slightly worse than the ice variant. And the cold variant is just going to be like the main variation here. And especially on non-season or like when the seasonal powers disappear, this magic missile power will be gone and the Star Pact variant will definitely not be on the same level anymore because the ice variant gets almost nothing from the season theme. Personally, I've pushed quite high with this build already now, so I don't think I can beat that anymore with Magic Missile, but I will try. At least I will see like how far I can go. I was kind of pumped for a Magic Missile push with the seasonal power, with the like true Firebird playstyle, and let's see how that will go. But I believe that the Meteor variant is already better in the season, and it will definitely be way better on non-season. Either way, an interesting little development on the Wizards here with Meteor everywhere, just like there's Nova everywhere on the Necromancer now. There's always the problem with those sets that have very generic damage increases. If there's like one really powerful spell, like we used to have with Course Explosion on the Necro, and now it's Nova, it's always like the meta on all of those builds. So maybe those can be tweaked in the future where we don't have these generic damage increases anymore, so that we have like true distinct playstyles for all of the sets. But this is what we have now, and it has some really interesting flavor, I believe. So I hope you enjoyed this video here, and I'll see you guys next time.